Boom. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Monday night Acts on This TV live broadcast. We're currently live on Facebook. I'm live on Twitter. I'm live on LinkedIn. If you're watching on the recording on YouTube or on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever, or you're listening on the Acts on This TV audio experience on iTunes or Spotify or Stitcher or SoundCloud or wherever you get your podcast from, thank you very much for listening. Do massively appreciate it. Or thanks for watching. Massively appreciate it. If you are listening on the audio experience, though, don't think for a second that these free podcasts that go out on iTunes and stuff is the only thing that we do at atsonthis.tv. We do an absolute shed ton of premium content over on atsonthis.tv for members only that you really want to get access to. If you think these Monday night broadcasts and the audio is helpful, God, you haven't seen anything. This is literally 1% of what the atsonthis.tv community is about. Come and join us on a Tuesday or a Thursday night. We sit down with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers in the business, and we just chew the fat with them basically about what you need to do as an actor to have more success in this industry, take your career much further, much faster. Loads of atsonthis.tv members are in the house tonight. Let's give everyone a shout out. Went a bit Scottish then, Nicola. Let's give everyone a shout out on Facebook. I just know Nicola's Scottish, that's why I can do that. John's in the house, Dawn's here, Julie's here, Steve's here, Alex, Ricky, Amanda, Gary, Liz, Adam, Hayley, Ethan, good to see you, man. Not seen you in a while. David's here, Sandra's here from Germany, Lindsay's in the house. Lindsay, how you doing? Hope you're good. Loads of people are here. Freddie's in the house. Freddie, how you doing? Chris has just joined as well. So we've got loads to cover tonight, basically. But, I mean, if anyone's got any news, first of all, if you want to put that in the Facebook chat, if you need a shout-out of anything, if you're putting on a show, if you're doing something online as an actor, I think we all need to give each other as much support as possible. Do let me know in the Facebook comments there, and I'll try and give you guys a shout-out, give you as much publicity as possible. Want to cover a few things tonight. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go over a few of the highlights from last week's mastermind session. This was a member-only mastermind session for members of atsonthis.tv that we held with casting director Emma Crompton, who's just a total legend. Emma has helped cast some massive stuff as an assistant and associate to some of the biggest casting directors like in the land, people like Robert Stern, who is Nina Gold's like casting, like partner, I guess. She's worked with people like Julie Harkin, Daniel Edwards and Kate Rose James, casting massive stuff. Lucy Bevan, she helped cast Beauty and the Beast, Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Huge show. She's now a casting director in her own right, and we did a roughly 2 hour mastermind session with her last week, talking all about basically everything she's learned over the 8 years of casting, what you need to do as an actor to, land auditions with these kind of names for these kind of projects, and then what Emery's doing now to help actors as well, because she set something up herself actually called the Casting Feed, which we'll take a little look at tonight in one of the videos, one of the highlights I'm going to play you guys, just to help actors again sort of learn directly from casting directors, and that's what Acts on This is all about. There's a load of urban myths out there in this industry. Actors have a lot of like Chinese whispers. Oh, don't do this, do this. It's like, no, you know what? Why don't we just go to the people who actually are going to be the people giving you the auditions and ask them exactly what to do. So I'm going to be recapping on Emma's webinar, Emma's mastermind session tonight. I'm going to play you a few clips of that. And then I'm going to announce something we're going to do tomorrow night. It's our member-only mastermind session tomorrow night, but we're going to do something completely different. And we're going to make it all about you guys tomorrow night, because I think that's what we need to be doing right now in the industry, and just giving you a bit more practical, hands-on kind of coaching. But I'll tell you what that is, and I'll play another video out giving you a teaser of that later on. So first of all, who was here with Emma, and then give me your news in the Facebook comments. If you're watching on Twitter or you're watching on LinkedIn, if you come over to facebook.com/atsonthistv, that's where I monitor these comments. Feel free to stay where you are, though, if you want to just watch or listen passively. That's totally cool. But we'll do a little bit of parish news first of all. Steve's got a new job on TV. Steve Gidwany, shout out to you. Don't know what it is, but like I said, I saw your agent post something before to say that you had some good news this morning. So massive shout out to you. Good job on that. I don't think you can tell us what it is yet, but when you can, post it in the Facebook group. Alex wants a little shout out for he started a business up in lockdown, teaching kids acting on Zoom, sort of like, acting techniques and a bit of coaching. What's it called, Alex? Have you posted a link to it, mate? Feel free to post Oh, you have. I mean, look at that. It does exactly as it says on the tin. actathome.co.uk. Shout out to Alex if you've got any kids, if you're a parent and you want some acting tuition online, Zoom. I think he does a couple of free sessions for you to try out. Actathome.co.uk. He's fully DBS checked or whatever it's called. What's that called, Alex, now, where you've got a CRB? Well, I don't know what. CRB, DBS, MI5, MFI, DFS. He's safe, basically. He's all right. He's not committed any crime. He's a good lad, Alex. He's been a member of the Acts in this community a while, so I can vouch for him. Gary's here. He's got, what's this, Freewheelers Theatre and Media, doing a film night on the 27th of October. Gary's editing it, making all the films. At the moment, would be great if people could watch on the night. So I think Gary's put a link in the chat there as well. Free for those who watch on the replay. Freewheelers Theatre and Media. Little shout out to you, Gary. Julie says, got offered an audition for a film, Ross. Got to the second stage, but waiting now. Trying not to think about it too much. Oh, Julie. It's difficult, particularly if you've had a recall, you know. If like it's hard, but what you've got to do, yeah. For me, whenever I get a casting and I'm waiting for an answer, particularly if you've had a recall and it's like you're getting closer and closer, like you've got to just look for the next opportunity. Don't focus on the one that you could have. Let's still be proactive. Focus on the next one. Keep putting your stuff out there, posting your reels, getting in touch with casting directors, working with your agent, you know, if you have one, etc. And look for that next opportunity. And then if the one that is, you know, potentially in the bag right now comes off, then, you know, even bigger win. But you can still, you know, kind of like be looking for that next opportunity whilst you're waiting for the existing one to either become something or not. But don't worry about it. I'm like, look, every no you get as well is one step closer to a yes. I always say that. You know, the more no's you're getting, the more closer to a yes you're getting as well. If you know what I mean, celebrate it all experience, but good luck with that. Fingers crossed. You know, you'll get that and then let us know. Lindsay says, can I plug my new wee business? Not acting related, but helps to fund my acting habit, which is acting. So kind of, Lindsay, you need to post it and tell me what it is. I can definitely plug it for you if you let me know what it is, and by all means post a link in the chat there on Facebook so people can click on it and check it out. Thomas says, hi Ross, I'm currently working on my first audio play and have a brand new website, and that's thomaslilywhite.com. thomaslilywhite.com, which I'm very proud of. Check it out, everybody. Go and check out Thomas's site. Yeah, feel free, everybody, to post whatever you want in the comments. I think at a time like this, we need to be as supportive of each other as possible. Oh, what would mean the world as well, if you could, if you're on Facebook now, could you share this into any other acting groups as well? Just because I haven't done it and my phone never lets me do it once I've gone live. So that'd also mean the world. Before we get stuck into some of the highlights from Emma's mastermind session, post it in any group you think would benefit from this. Basically anywhere where there's actors can get their eyeballs on this. I think they're going to get value from it. So we'll do another round of promo in a minute. I'm going to start playing out some of the highlights of Emma's session, because you're going to get value from this even if you've not got a membership to actsonthis.tv. I would highly recommend you do get one though. Over on the website, actsonthis.tv, you will find Emma's session. You can watch a preview of it if you click on preview features. You'll see like a 2-minute kind of preview. It's called Stop Doubting Yourself with casting director Emma Crompton. You'll also find another 400 hours of incredible content on this website. You members, if you've got your membership, get into your members area, click on your premium membership, and you will see it just at the top here in the latest 5 features. You will see that if you click into that section there. Stop doubting yourself. You'll get the full, what was it? 2 hours and 1 minute and 54 seconds. Nearly 2 hours and 2 minutes of incredible acting career advice. If you want to work in TV, and particularly at the top of TV drama, then you want to go check that out. It's you'll find it absolutely invaluable. But I'm going to play you just a couple of little highlights tonight of the kind of things that you missed in there. And we're going to start off with something that kind of just relates to the title of the whole thing. I always ask these guests that we have on every week, I always say at the end of the broadcast, listen, right, if there's one thing you want every actor to take away from tonight's mastermind session, what is that thing? And it's really interesting because everybody comes up with something, ever so slightly different. Emma was literally all about, look, it's all about belief and, not doubting yourself. And she was like, look, there comes a point when you've been in this industry long enough. And I know this for sure. I know this for certain. I've been in the industry over 20 years. I don't care who, I've met like people at the top of the game, like literally, we've had them on Acts on This, BAFTA winners, Oscar winners, people who've made literally millions of pounds out of the acting industry, the biggest casting directors, BAFTA winning writers, directors, no one, and I mean it in the nicest possible way, we're all blagging it. Like, we're not blagging it to a certain extent when no one knows, anything about what they're doing. But everybody is feeling as they go. That's what I mean in terms of, like, you cannot connect any dots looking forward. You can certainly plan and set goals, and you can reverse engineer what it is that you want. But really, like, the message is everybody has doubts. I don't care who you are, how rich you are, how successful you are. Everybody feels imposter syndrome. Everybody has doubts about whether they can do stuff or not, whether this thing that they're going to embark on is going to work, whether, they just did a good audition, or, if they're a director, they just did a good interview for that next job, or a producer, whether they just pitched, correctly for that next job, or whatever it is. The writer, I've met writers who have won multiple BAFTAs, and in the break at a read-through, after episode 1 has been read out, before you go and film this huge TV show, have come up to me in the break and gone, oh my God, I can breathe now. Now episode 1's done, because I always feel that, during episode 1, someone's going to shout, stop, like, what is this? You can't write. And these are people who have got like awards coming out of their ears. So Emma's whole message of this was like, listen, stop doubting yourself. And I think as actors, it's something that, I don't know if we do it more than any other profession within our industry. Do we doubt ourselves more than cameramen doubt themselves, or sound people doubt themselves? I don't know. But I just know that, from my own experience, doubt can creep in. I'm sure you guys will agree with that as well. So it's just a little bit of a clip about Emma and I talking about, sort of like not doubting yourself once you're in the room, basically. If you're being invited in to cast for stuff, to audition for stuff, or you're getting self-tape requests right now, and Julie, whatever happens on your job, if it's a yes or a no, normally if you get a no, you're going to be like, oh, it must have been shit or whatever. It's like, it's just not the case. You've got to stop doubting yourself. So here's Emma's just like 2 minutes on this topic. I think you'll find it useful. So many casting directors and directors come on here, and particularly when it's giving actors their first job. Mickey Jones, I put a piece of content out with him recently. He's a great director of a lot of the soaps, and he was like, look, for me, for the first few jobs, if you're coming in for Corrie and you're just doing a couple of lines, I know if you've been invited in, you can do the job. But him, it's about the personality. It's about whether he wants to work with you and be with you on set. And I guess casting's kind of like that in terms of, the actors you want to bring in are the ones that you're like, oh, I like them, yeah?
There's certain characters, like the day player roles, that we can. They're sometimes the most fun because we get to bring in actors we don't know.
Yeah,
that's where we get to cast the net wider and bring new people in. So there is always an element of risk of
what are they going to be like?
Yeah, what someone's personality is like, what their ability is like, or have we match them up to a show that doesn't actually suit their acting style. So it's all of those elements. But yeah, if you're getting brought in for a director and producer meeting, it's the acting bit is done. It comes down to whether they want to work with you, whether that you fit their image of what the character is. It's a lot of things that aren't really in your control, other than you just trying to build a rapport with us and them. But yeah, if you got to that stage where you're being brought in more than once for a casting office, or you're being brought in to meet the director and producer, then you don't question your acting. It's not about that.
Boom, actonthis.tv if you want to listen to or watch the full interview there, the 2 hour and 2 minute mastermind session that we held with Emma. But I just thought that was interesting. Again, do you know what? Almost every single guest says it. Every single casting director, every single successful person that we have on in this industry on actonthis.tv is just like they all feel it too. And there just has to be a collective effort between all of us to just stop doubting ourselves and to support each other, so that we try and eliminate as much of that self doubt from each other as possible. Because sometimes you just you need some other people to kind of just give you a little nudge, don't you? Just be like, before you go in, look, you've got this, you can do it. So if that is you, if you are a chronic self-doubter in your career, got to try and make a conscious effort, to start believing a bit more in your potential, because it's going to completely dictate the results that you get. Honest to God, like I see it all the time. Those actors who, do you know what? Sometimes maybe not even that talented. They're good, they're all right, but they just have a belief in their own potential. which means that they take action and then they get the results that they want. Whereas sometimes you get really talented people who just don't believe enough in themselves. They don't feel they've got the potential, so they don't take as much action, and thus the results they get just aren't as good. And then, that feeds back into their belief about themselves because they didn't get great results, and they were like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm probably not that good. And then they believe they've got even less potential next time, so they take even less action, get even worse results. And yet those people who are like, yeah, come on, I can do this. I've got the potential, massive action, great results, much better belief in themselves, feeds back into their potential. They take bigger action next time and they get better results. And then you're looking at this person going, oh my God, like, you're not even that good, but look how successful you are. It's all in your head. So let's try and develop that belief where we can. I was going to go into the comments on Facebook because a few people were saying how lovely Emma was on the chat. David's here. Yeah, David, you got to chat to Emma. I know you were there the other night. Let's see what else is going on in the comments here. Lindsay, have you posted that little plug about your business yet or what? She does say my daughter just shouted down and asked if she could get out of bed to see what the man's voice looks like. There you go. Take a screenshot, Lindsay. Print it out, stick me on your wall. That'd be nice. Imposter syndrome is common across all high-level jobs, says Shelley. Was looking it up earlier today, funnily enough. I just think it is. It's just common across human beings. We all have those. Self-doubt can just creep in no matter how bulletproof your mindset is. At times, if you're not practicing, the things that would alleviate that in terms of, a lot of it is just taking action. And just feeling that you are making progress towards that thing that you want to achieve, even if you're not there yet, it's enjoying the journey. I'm sure you've all felt it when, you're, going for anything in your life and suddenly you get it and suddenly the fight and the chase is over. You're a bit like, okay, you need something else to go after. And that's because you are enjoying the journey, even though sometimes it can feel like shit. When you do get those no's or you get that rejection, it's all part and parcel of it. And when you just feel you're making progress, no matter how small, even though you're crawling an inch closer at a time to whatever it is that you want in this industry, that feels good. So it's just about taking that action. Sometimes at times when you don't want to, that's the thing that will keep that imposter syndrome at bay, because you might be feeling it, but you're doing it anyway. And then suddenly you'll get some positive reinforcement and you'll be like, yeah, you know what? Like, I just got that little bit more belief in myself today. Ricky said, I saw my tweet to Jed Mercurio today. He will be fab to have on for a mastermind. Yeah, I'm going to try and get Jed. Jed's just an incredible writer. Writes literally the biggest drama in UK TV, stuff like Line of Duty, Bodyguard. He's had some massive hits, and he just seems like a quality bloke. So I've reached out to a good dozen very high-level people over the last couple of days to get mastermind sessions with them. We've got some cracking mastermind sessions from tomorrow and the next 3 weeks I've got booked in, and there's lots of other people, on the way as well. So fingers crossed, they will deliver. COVID, to be honest with you, to be completely transparent, is throwing a bit of a spanner in the works for me when I'm booking guests in, because a lot of these guests that I'm booking in each week are working on some really high-level drama and stuff like that, and some, I can't tell you who, but like some guests literally that I have booked in have ended up like with COVID, like one just this week, which is why we're going to do something very different tomorrow night. But yeah, it is throwing a little spanner in the works. And sometimes what happens is if a crew member gets COVID or something like that, then it can throw the schedule off. So if I book someone for a Thursday night and suddenly their schedule of filming moves, they're like, Ross, I can't do Thursday night. So I ask for understanding and forgiveness from now till Christmas, because I think this is going to get a bit more challenging as winter comes in, and obviously we're hit with more general illness anyway. But we will fight on, and regardless, you members of actsonthis.tv will be getting content every single week, whether it kills me. I mean, then I can't do anything about it, but I will do my best for you, definitely. But it'd be great to get Jed on, Ricky. I love him. I spoke to Ricky Gervais's agent last week as well, Idris Elba as well. That's proving a negotiation, but we'll see. I can't promise you, but we'll see. We'll see what what happens. Definitely. People are saying hashtag you are enough. It all comes into the belief. It is, isn't it? Honest to God, like it sounds so simple, but it just is. It is understanding that actually, yeah, you are already enough. There is no there. There's no destination. Almost. Some people are like, I'll be happy when I get there. And I'm like, what's there? What do you mean? And then they're like, they don't really know. They can't really answer it. there is not really any there. It's like a horizon. When you run to that building on the horizon, there's another horizon. You'll see another building in the distance. You can never really get there. And you don't want to end up living between like where you are and that horizon, like in that gap. So it's about kind of maybe sometimes turning around, looking at how far you've come in this industry already, from the day you decided to be an actor up until now. What have you actually achieved so far? Well, I'm guessing loads of you have trained already. Maybe you've done drama school. Maybe you've just done loads of acting classes. You might have agents now. You've had multiple headshots, shot, showreel scenes done. You've written emails to agents, casting directors. Every little thing is a piece of the jigsaw. And sometimes it's about turning around and actually looking about, where you've come from as opposed to how far you feel you've still got to go. That's a big, big part of getting your mindset right for this industry. Lindsay's posted a Facebook page now. What is it, Lindsay? Tropic Advocate. That's my private members Facebook page. Please come and invite your friends. What is it? I don't know what's a Tropic Advocate. I'm all about promoting actors' businesses to help them, get out of the day job. I don't know what a Tropic Advocate is, Lindsay, but it sounds good. Let us know in the chat more about what it is. I'm going to play you another clip from Emma's mastermind. Do you know what? This was something that there's never really been asked before, because there's not a lot of singers in our community. I mean, let me know in the chat if you are maybe a singer. Brendan, I know you sing, but there's a difference, isn't there, between an actor who sings and an actor who is who really sings, like in musical theatre. It's two very different styles. Acting for television, acting for musical theatre, very, very different. I would never, I'm never going to be musical theatre. Ever in a million Sundays would I ever be musical theatre. I think I did one contemporary dance class at drama school. I opted out after that. I went, unless you give me 6 bottles of, Blue WKD on a Saturday night when I was like 20s, I'd never drink that now, and put Michael Jackson on, I'm not dancing. So I'd never be musical theatre. However, you don't have to be. You might. This applies to any other skills you've got. Okay, there's going to be a question that somebody asked on this chat here that I'm going to play out with you. That was like, look, if I have a skill, it's singing in this instance, but this applies to any skills you might have. How do I also promote that to the casting director without making it kind of my main thing? So maybe, you have great skills. You could horse ride, sword fight, skateboard, I don't know, basketball, football, whatever it is for you. I think this advice counts for anyone who has a skill they are highly proficient in. Okay, so we're not talking like you're just all right at it. If you're like really good at it, this really applies to you. Let's check it out.
So how can I portray that I'm a singer that's an actress but not musical theatre?
If you're not wanting to be seen as a musical theatre actor, that's what you specialise in, you're more an actor who sings, then I personally would keep a video off of you singing. You could always put a voice note of you singing.
Yeah.
You've definitely starred, haven't you, the singing on your spotlight. Brilliant. So that's good enough for us as well. Now, if it gets to the point where you see a breakdown or you've heard of a role, send us it. Send us the video.
Okay, so just do it that way instead of actually having it on your spotlight.
Yeah, you don't need it on there. If you've starred that you're a singer, and believe me, people, I think there's kind of this like urban myth that everybody just stars everything. They really, really don't. If you've starred that you can sing, we will believe that you can sing. But on Spotlight, you can put skills and then you can star it to show that you're highly skilled. So, we could, if you're good at singing, you can put that you can sing soprano on there. But if you are highly, highly skilled, as in you've trained, you've got, grade 8, is that vocal in singing? I don't know. You would star it. Same with instruments, same with sport. You can show that you are highly skilled. So make sure that you've done that. Put a voice clip up of you singing, or just make sure that you're on it, so if you ever see a breakdown or hear of one, you can send it. And when you get an agent, that's what they'll do, so they won't have that on there, but they'll see a breakdown and they'll send us a video. So that's what they do. They go, by the way, here's this. It's the same with people who are really good at fight scenes or stunts or musical instruments. They'll send us it, being like, just let you know, here's this, what they also do.
actonthis.tv. I keep saying it if you want to watch the entire mastermind session with Emma. So what she's talking about there when she's saying star in it, for those people like, what does it mean? We're talking like literally an asterisk, a little star next to your skills. So when you're inputting your skills on Spotlight, there's a skill section on Spotlight where you can tick a load of boxes depending on what skills you have, singing, dancing, everything, literally stage combat, driving, all these different things. Football, whatever, there's sports and stuff on there, all kinds of stuff. You can, if only, be careful of this, because you should only do it if you really are highly proficient. But if you're like an expert or you're really skilled at that thing, maybe, you don't just go skiing or snowboarding, once every 3 years for a laugh with your mates. You're like, you're pretty much pro skier or whatever. You can star that. So you can literally tick a little box to say you're highly skilled in it, you're highly proficient in that thing. And then casting directors can search Spotlight via those skills. So they go, right, I only want to see people who are like, professional horse riders, or, they're highly proficient soprano if they're a singer or whatever it is. So it goes for anything, not just singing. Obviously, we're focusing on singing there. If you have any skills, Emma was saying, listen, keep a video off of Spotlight. So if it's an audio thing like singing, you can put an audio clip up there, in like the voice section as opposed to a video. Keep a video off Spotlight though, and then if a casting comes up specifically for that thing, you can then send that video with your Spotlight submission, or your agent can send that, attach a link to it with your Spotlight submission or whatever that would be, just so that, you have that in the bank when it's required. I just think everybody, should have that. If you are particularly skilled at something, then you want to have that to hand so that you can just, you don't have to go and film something, on the day or something like that. If someone wants to see you skateboarding, actually, you know what? I've got that in the bag already. Let me send you a video of me doing some tricks. Something else I cannot do. I don't know what I should have on my special skills. Impressions of Alan Partridge, probably. That's probably all I can do. We've got lots of singers on here. Who was saying they can sing? Hayley's a singer. Shelley's a singer. Martin's a singer. Amanda says, give us a song, Ross. Oh, no, you'd hate it, Amanda. And again, unless I was very drunk. When I was in my 20s at drama school, if I got really drunk, I turned into Justin Timberlake. It's just like... just happened, honestly. It was like putting on a Justin Timberlake CD. If I'm not had a drink, though, forget it. Can't do it. Tony's got a shameless plug for his website. What's this, Tony? Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/actor problems. Tony does a little, Tony's in Chicago, I think, Tony, aren't you? Does little coaching sessions and sort of self-care stuff online. Very, very cool. Little shout out to Tony Rossi. Adam's a singer. Says, need to star it on Spotlight. Get it starred. And Esther's having singing lessons. I should have some singing lessons. I probably, it's probably not enough in the world, though. It's probably not enough in the world, really, for me to ever be of musical theatre standard. Did you see? Oh my God! Did you see the other night on Britain's Got Talent? For those people in the UK, Britain's Got Talent, and did you see the performance by all the musical theatre people? Cameron McIntosh's stars. Matt Lucas was there, and just loads of famous sort of musical theatre people doing things like Les Mis. I'm not a big musical theatre person at all, but I love Les Mis. It's the only musical I think I've ever seen more than once. And I've only seen about 2 or 3 in my life. But Les Mis I've probably seen 3 times at the Palace in Manchester. Such a beautiful play. Just such a great show. Again, I'd never been in it, but... oh my God, it was amazing. The performance that they did. You can get it on YouTube. Don't know what you search for, like Britain's Got Talent, Les Miserables or something like that. Superb. Ricky says, I'm not a fan of the new Spotlight page layout. Who's noticed that? Spotlight has changed the page layout of your CV. Now, to see the new version of it compared to the old version of it, all you need to do is normally you'd go spotlight.com / and you've got your view pin. Just put the word profile before that, and then another /. So spotlight.com / profile / and then your view pin, and you'll see the new Spotlight page, what people would see if you sent that out. And then if you take the word profile out and that extra / it'll just go to your normal Spotlight CV, like the old style one. The old style one loads instantly. The new style one takes forever to load. I'm not a fan either, Ricky. Everything pops up in a light box, so I don't know how compatible that's going to be on all devices. I guess it's kind of a step forward. They're trying to move it forward, but it's still... And I only know this from, web developing for 20 years now, and not like proper web developing, but it feels like something, it feels like it's built on software that I was probably building websites on in about 2005. But Spotlight, it's a step in the right direction, but for me, if they're not going to sort the loading times out, it's pointless. You might as well just have the old CV, because it's immediate, and I like that. Like, you know, if you're sending your link out to people and they're in a place without great Wi-Fi or whatever, you don't want them waiting. For casting directors, it's just going to be hassle. Whereas you can click on someone's Spotlight link as it is and see their CV in 10 seconds. Well, not even that, 3 seconds. You know, in your dinner hour, like, you can go through 10 CVs and look at them all in probably, you know, less than a minute each. It doesn't sound like much, but even like 8 to 10 seconds of loading per CV, it adds up. You know, it's like, you know, over 10 CVs, that's an extra minute of just sitting there doing nothing. So it feels more, I know that sounds crazy, but you can tell, can't you? You know, when your internet at home even lags a little bit and you're like, it's not as responsive, you know, and it's mental that we get annoyed about things like that. Very first world problems. But I'm like, this normally feels immediate, and it's, you know, there's something up with the Wi-Fi here, and you go and reset the router. The new layout, Ricky, feels like that to me. It feels like there's something wrong with your router, even though there's not. So hopefully they'll sort that out. I'm all for innovation. The old version does look dated, but it worked, in my opinion. So, but maybe it's just because we don't like change, you know. We all kick against change, don't we? So maybe it's just that. Certainly not slating it. Good luck, Spotlight. But hopefully you'll sort the loading times out. Fingers crossed. Marty's got his singing website. Another shout out, Marty with a Y, martyscott.co.uk. Oh, wedding singer. Nice one, man. Didn't know that. There you go. That's, well, hopefully, mate, we'll get some weddings back on once COVID's gone. Are you doing wedding singing via Zoom at the moment? It must be hard, wasn't it? I'm going to a funeral on Thursday. One of my best mates passed away a few weeks ago, and no singing anything there at all. So we're going to play hymns, but and we can do a reading and things like that, but no singing there. So imagine wedding singing. Maybe that's probably off the cards as well for now, Marty. But we shall see. God, there's loads of comments. I'm so sorry I'm missing all of these comments. Also, your media is hidden. You need to click down to reveal it. Feels like it'd be missed easily. Is that on Spotlight, Ricky? I mean, the thing is, it's only going to be used by one type of person, isn't it, in terms of an actor or a casting director? So once they realise the media is hidden without clicking on it, you know, no one's really going to miss it, because you're not going to be sending your Spotlight to random people who don't know Spotlight. But again, that's an issue, mate. I'm sure, I don't know, are they asking for feedback? They should do. Whenever I put any new features out on actsonthis.tv, I'm like, you know, if there's something that fundamentally changes the way that you use it, I'll be asking for feedback. The app, I'm gonna give everybody, I'm gonna give everyone in the community access to the app now, very shortly as well, for actsonthis.tv, where you can access everything via an app on your phone. It means I can send push notifications to you as well, rather than emails. So if I'm going to go live, you'll get a push notification on your phone that you can just swipe on, and then, you know, you'll come into the live, as opposed to at the moment I've got to email people. That's going to be really cool. So I'm going to give everybody access to that soon. I've partnered with a third-party company to bring you that, so it's not a bespoke thing just for me. You'll download a third-party app, which is completely ad-free and won't cost you anything like that. It's super secure. It's first party in terms of it's built on the software that I use to build the site on, so it's not like a dodgy thing. It's rock solid, but I will be asking for feedback, because we will be, you know, obviously updating that as we go along. So hopefully Spotlight will ask for feedback as well, as they go, you know, as they go along. Adam says, I sent the new one out to casting directors. I didn't know it took take a while to load. It's not massive, but have a look at it, Adam. When you load the page, and for those on the audio experience, you have to imagine this, but when you load the page, like when you're updating your photos in the back end now, you get the watermark of the Spotlight logo spinning round. It loads your CV the same way now. So it's not like, you know, it doesn't say forever, but it's not immediate, and it used to be immediate. But again, if you're sending it to casting directors, they're already seeing it, mate. They're not going to not look at it, because they'll be thinking the same thing, but it's the tool that they use to cast. So they're not going to be like, oh, Adam sent me a Spotlight, so I'm not going to look at it now. Well, what else are you going to do? Like, you can't send them anything else. If you don't want to send the new version, just take the word profile out of the link, though, and you'll be fine. Chris is not mincing his words. Chris's review, I'm sure Spotlight will put this on the front page. Chris Everett on the new Spotlight. It's crap. Oh, God. Hopefully they'll sort it out then. Fingers crossed. Yeah, it's got to get better on it. It's got to get better. So we shall see. Right, I think have I got one more clip of Emma to play you? and then I'll announce what we're going to do. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to plug. We're doing a lot of plugging tonight. I think it's the right thing to do sometimes. I'm like, let's promote everyone else in this industry as well, right? Emma has created something. She's an incredible casting director, still working as a casting director, but she wanted to use her 8 years in casting, working with these incredible casting directors as well that she's worked with for the greater good. And she was like, you know what? She started out in the industry as an actor, tried it out for 2 years, realised it just was not for her. So she's been on both sides of the coin. So she was like, look, with my skills as a casting director now, I can help actors not fall for the things that she fell foul of. And, you know, just sort of like, you know, again, mindset. She's big on mindset. Sort your mindset out. So she's created something called the casting feed. And I just asked her a little bit about it. And here's what she had to say, just to explain. She can explain it better than I can, about what the casting feed is and then where she wants to take it. But ultimately, you can literally have one-to-ones with Emma, have a little, you know, CV surgery type thing. She'll read in for self-tapes for you, critique your self-tapes. It sounds great, but check it out. This is Emma's The Casting Feed. So what's going on in the casting feed right now? What can people get involved with? What have you got planned? And yeah, I mean, what have you been doing? It's kind of calls like this, I guess. What is it like, you know, CV surgeries or, you know, show reel advice?
In the early stages, I've kept it very loose, you know, it's half an hour. And we can go through a scene, we can go through self-tapes, we can go through your CV, we can just go through advice. So they're very vague. It's kind of like how the actor wants to, you know, what you want to talk to me about or discuss or work on. I do longer ones as well. I also do ones where I'll help you with a self-tape. So either preparation for a self-tape or I'll be the reader and I'll direct you like over Zoom.
That's decent.
So
you can get a casting director to do a self-tape with you.
Yeah, well then it's more like an audition then, and you're not having to direct yourself going, oh my God, what do I do? So, or spend 5 hours doing it. And then I've started doing the courses and I'm going to make them a bit more specific. So for experienced actors, for newbies, comedy, you know, all those different types of things, because I just think now we've all done them. Some of you can see her on here tonight. It's brilliant having a right mix of people in there. But I think my slight feedback to myself from having everybody of all experiences on there was, I think sometimes I felt that the more inexperienced actors, I didn't want them to doubt themselves because they were looking at very experienced actors and who were just finding it really easy and them going, oh my God, I'm not good enough. And I didn't want that, because that's not true. It's just you're at a very different stage. So retrospectively, I've gone, actually, I think I need to do 2 levels of the workshop, really.
actonthis.tv if you want to watch again. Once again, I'll keep plugging it, the full 2 hour and 2 minute mastermind session with Emma, but that was just a little plug of what Emma's doing. Thecastingfeed.com if you want to find out more information on that. It's all very reasonably priced. Obviously Emma is completely legit. There's a lot of bullshit sold in this industry. There's a lot of snake oil being passed around. It's something that I try and call out when I see it, but Emma is obviously completely legit as actonthis.tv. So go check that out. I'm very, very happy to promote Emma. Going back to the skills thing on your spotlight, we've got some crazy people with some crazy skills in the house tonight. Nicola says she's a professional horse rider and trained in stunt riding. How do you train in stunt riding, Nicola? Just throw yourself off the horse and just hope you don't break anything. That's crazy. Bit of stunt riding. Someone else was proficient in... Chris is proficient in fishing and Kermit voice. Well, that's amazing. I don't know if there's a box on Spotlight, Chris, for Kermit voice, but if you can do Kermit the Frog, they need to create. You know, as I would have one for an Alan Partridge voice. We can get a box for you for the Kermit voice. Definitely. Thanks everyone for the kind words about me mate. Yeah, it was proper bad, man. Like Pat, I've mentioned him a couple of times. Pat Walker, massive shout out to him. He was an actor I met at an acting class 20 years ago. A little bit older than me, not old though. He was 55. Was waiting 3 years for a kidney transplant. Had it. All went great, man, and then just a few complications a couple of days afterwards, and we lost him. It was just so sudden, so sad. we're going to try and make the funeral on Thursday as celebrated as much as possible, but got to do some readings, which is a complete honour, reading out some tributes and reading a poem with Rob James Collier, Downton Abbey's Rob Collier. That's where I met Rob as well. So me and Rob are going to do some tributes and stuff on Thursday morning when the funeral is. But it's just going to be like, it's just crazy, isn't it? I'm going to try and really got to try and hold it together. I'm like, I've done enough crying this year. Lost 3 mates this year. Don't want to do anymore, but there's a piper there. There's going to be a bagpiper, and I'm half Scottish. Nicola, you're Scottish. You'll know everyone how amazing are bagpipes. Like I had them at my dad's funeral, and like the minute I hear them, like just off. I can't handle it. It's like they're mega spiritual, aren't they? Bagpipes. It's a very, very. I don't know, just incredibly powerful. Is anyone proficient in bagpipes? Have you got that style on your spotlight? Because that's a cracking skill to have. But thank you for it. I just want to say thanks for all that. I've seen all the kind words coming through and people saying how sorry they are, and like I just appreciate it. So thanks for that. Amanda says there is a pop-up for feedback on your Spotlight, on the new Spotlight thing if you go on it on your web browser. So you can give them Spotlight if you're finding that it's loaded. Give them Spotlight, you give them feedback on Spotlight if it's loading slowly for you or whatever, or you've got any you've got any feedback. That's what the feedback thing's for. It's for feedback. Eloise says, I used Emma in the casting feed for a self-tape, and she was great. So helpful. That's amazing. And Kate also says you got fantastic help from Emma at the casting feed. Highly recommended. Everyone's just loving it, aren't they? They're loving a bit of the casting feed. I'm so sorry. All these comments are just going by so fast that I miss quite a lot of these. But again, yeah, thanks for all the lovely comments that are coming through. Right, I'm going to explain what's going on tomorrow night. I'm going to be completely transparent and open with you. I actually had an actress lined up for tomorrow night, who, and I can't tell you obviously because I just can't tell you, but it's actually was working on set on a great TV show, has just had a I think they get a COVID test every 2 or 3 days, and it's unfortunately come up positive. So tomorrow night isn't going to happen in the same way it was going to happen. This guest is still going to be coming on, just at a slightly later date when she's feeling better. She's feeling very rough today. However, I thought, you know what I had planned for 3 weeks, we're just going to do tomorrow. And this is going to be really cool because it's going to be really interactive, okay? And I actually thought, you know what, after so many months of us having every week, a casting director or, a producer or director or whatever, giving you guys all of this advice, I think sometimes I want to check in with you lot that you're putting all of this into practice, and also myself, as well, in terms of holding myself accountable and holding everyone here accountable as well, because it's great getting all this advice every week, but the reason this community is called Act on This is because you have to act on it. You have to go out and take action on the advice that you're getting. You can't just sit there and do nothing with it. Otherwise, it'd just be called Eat a Sandwich. .tv. Just come and have a look at this, eat a sandwich and do nothing. So I want to make sure people are acting on this information. And one thing that comes up time and time again, I think we get a question on almost every single webinar with a casting director, is on show reels. And show reels right now, because, particularly around, just like there's going to be a lot more casting done off show reels, and sometimes I think people are offering, not massively more, but there are definitely people who are offering roles on straight offers off reels, definitely off self tapes. So the stronger your reel can be, whether that's made up of scenes you've actually shot and they've been on TV, or they're shot from scratch scenes, or they are self tapes because you don't have the resources right now to shoot anything from scratch, that's completely fine. But I want to, make sure everybody really understands, if their show reel is right now, if it's doing them justice, and what they need to tweak on it. So I don't know if you guys remember, if you've been in the industry a while and you've been around actsonthis.tv a while, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I started doing a series of live webinars, live broadcasts, actually on Facebook, with Chris Stone, who I think is without a doubt, is one of the best show reel producers in the country. I think his actual production quality is the best in the country. I think there are, other fantastic show producers for sure that I've seen recently who are shooting great stuff in terms of really great story, really relevant scenes for getting actors their first roles on TV. Chris's production, I think, is ever so slightly better still than everything else I'm seeing out there, but there's some there's some people hot on his heels, right, who are creating fantastic stuff as well. But me and Chris did something called Showreel Surgery, a whole series of these broadcasts where what we would do is actually play out examples of people's showreels in the community. So all of you guys here who are members of actsonthis.tv, we would play your showreel out for everyone else to see. That gets you exposure. You don't know who's going to see that, who's going to be live on that call on the evening. But also, the community, myself and Chris, will give feedback on that. And we'll all together collaboratively figure out if it can be made better with the material you've got. We're not going to tell everybody, right, sack it all off, go and just throw all that away. We're going to be like, look, I'm a big advocate of going, this is what you've got, but is it in the right order? Does it start with you on camera straight away, or are we seeing someone else and getting confused? Is this your reel? Is it their reel? Whose is it? Has it got your headshot at the start? Because it should have. You should have 2 seconds. We need to know straight away your name and who I'm looking for in the show reel. Is it in the right order? Are there any thematic cuts that we could make to make that show reel have, even though it's made up of multiple scenes, have more story within it, to make it more entertaining? Is the hook right? Does it end on a bang? All of these things that really, is it too long? Is it too short? All of these things that make a massive difference. It's without a doubt your headshot and your show reel, the two main tools that you have, when you're approaching people cold, to even get them to contemplate seeing you for an audition. So it's really, really important. So we're going to do a live showreel surgery tomorrow night, and you need to listen because I need your help. Otherwise, this isn't going to work. I'm going to play you a little trailer now that me and Chris shot before of what this actually is. And I'm going to tell you how, if you're a member of actsonthis.tv, you can send me your show reel. Now, I can't play them all out because we'd end up having to play hundreds of reels out. But we're going to choose, I think, between 8 and 10. We're going to see how many we can get through. It's going to be chosen at random. But if you want to be in the mix, I'm going to explain to you after this trailer how you can get your showreel over to us so we can give you this feedback tomorrow night. It's going to be awesome. But here we go. Here's a little trailer that me and Chris shot. We're doing something very different this week. I want you to get involved with it. Now, over the last 6 months, I've been holding weekly mastermind sessions for members of actsonthis.tv, all the actors in the community, with literally the biggest casting directors in the game. And one question that always comes up on these mastermind sessions is, look, as actors, how do we get on your radar? What can we be doing in order to, stand the best chance of landing auditions, landing self-tapes with these casting directors for the biggest shows out there? And the answer always comes down to a few things, but one main thing, and that is the quality of your showreel. Now, it's one thing knowing the theory of what a good showreel is. It's another to actually see it and to experience a quality showreel. Okay, so this Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m, I'm going to be joined by this guy here, in my opinion, the UK's premier showreel producer, Mr. Chris Stone. Chris, tell him what we're going to be doing to help them with this.
We're going to be running one of our classic showreel surgeries. This is where Act On This community members can send in their reel to us by 7:30 on Tuesday night, and we'll be playing around 8 to 10 of them out and critiquing them, do a little surgery on them, kind of trying to fix them, giving you pointers on where we can improve them so they're in the very best possible shape, and hopefully get you guys in the room.
What this also does, in the nicest possible ways, it gives you an opportunity to see what your peers are sending out to agents and casting directors. You get to really check out the friendly competition, all right? Okay, don't compare and despair. This is all friendly competition. But you get to see, what other people are sending out in the industry, where your material stacks up. Is it up to par? Is it up to scratch? Is it in need, like Chris said, of a little bit of surgery in order to tweak it, just to do you justice? If you want to get involved with this, get yourself over to actsonthis.tv/live to grab your membership if you've not done that already. You'll also see on that page as well the next couple of casting mastermind sessions that we're doing with some incredible names. We do this every single week with a top actor, agent, writer, producer, casting director, professional like Chris, just some incredible guests. So do come and get involved. actsonthis.tv/live for full details. We'll see you 7:30 p.m. Tuesday night. Chris, I will see you 7:30 p.m. Tuesday night. Make sure you turn up. You can't go anywhere. And just cheers for doing this, mate. We'll see you there. Until then, you know what time it is. Catchphrase time. 3, 2, 1.
Bye for now.
Bye for now. So, actsonthis.tv/live. Yeah, if you want to get involved with that. In fact, I'm going to go over to that page because this is such a new announcement. It's not even going to be on there yet, but I will show you as well the next 2 guests that we've got lined up as well, because we've got a cracking lineup. And if the guest who we couldn't have tomorrow, we were going to do Chris in 3 weeks' time, so we're going to swap places with them. It means the next 3 guests are just Fire, absolute fire. Where do I need to go? I need to go onto actonthis.tv/live because I'll show you. So this isn't going to be 9 days away now. Chris's is going to be tomorrow, but this one technically actually is 9 days away. The next guest after Chris, we've got casting director Louise Keeley. I thought, you know what, we got some incredible actors in the community who are either based in Ireland or have bases in Ireland. Louise was thrust into like the casting hall of fame basically after Normal People, BBC and Hulu's Normal People, an incredible drama. If you've not seen it, starring Daisy Edgar-Jones, it's just phenomenal. Have you seen it? Paul Mescal there as well. It's just fantastic. Such a great love story, basically. If you've ever been in love or broke your heart, if you ever really suffered massive heartbreak, you'll really understand it. So we've got that coming up on when is that? The 22nd of October. The week after, 27th of October, because these alternate on a Tuesday and then a Thursday, a Tuesday and then a Thursday. We've got Amy Rain Jackson, Amy Hubbard's casting associate, coming to hang out with us for a couple of hours as well, talking all about Amy Hubbard's office. Ultimately, what again you need to do to get on the radar of Amy, and her team. They're casting literally the biggest stuff, in the world right now. Louise is casting incredible stuff right now. We've got Chris tomorrow. We've got agents coming up from everywhere. United Independent, Curtis Brown, the Artist Partnership, I think. Got so much stuff coming up, guys, as well as a catalogue. If you've not been a member of actonthis.tv, if you do join, you'll get access to a catalogue of 400 hours worth of stuff that's already on there. So it's just going to be a wicked few weeks. But if you want to get involved with tomorrow night and send your reel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send, don't email me because I'll end up with 100 emails. I won't be able to get through them. I'm going to put a post up almost immediately after this in the Act on This Facebook group. So that's facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. I'm going to put a post up there. I'm going to pin it to the top of the group. And do you know what? Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pin this trailer that I've just played out to you guys to the top of the group with a request to say if you want your reel in the mix, and we're going to choose them at random, right? I'm just going to choose them at random, so I can't promise you're definitely going to get picked. I'm going to need a Vimeo or a YouTube link, okay? Because I'm going to need you to link to it. That's how we're going to be playing them out tomorrow night. I'm just going to choose 8 to 10 of the ones that come through completely at random. The cutoff will probably be, Chris said 7:30 tomorrow night. That's too late. Cutoff's probably going to be 5 p.m. Tomorrow, or if you're listening to this on the day, that's the 13th of October. So if you comment on that trailer that I put in the group with the YouTube link or Vimeo link, we'll download it from YouTube or Vimeo and we'll play it out. Obviously, you've got to be cool with it being played out. You've got to be cool with people critiquing it. We're certainly not going to slate anything or anything like that, but we will. Chris is really honest. That's what I like about him, though. Sometimes I've sent Chris cuts of my show reel, and he's just been like, "Mate, no." And it's because I'm too clingy. You get too emotionally attached to work you've done, and you want, as actors, we want to put it all in. You want to keep every single scene you can possibly keep in. It's like, no. Your reel needs to really be 2 minutes and 20 seconds or under so you can put it out natively on Twitter. I wouldn't have a version these days longer than that. I've got a cut of 1 minute version of a reel that's really good. You could be surprised how much you can get in to just 1 minute. You can get an awful lot into 2 minutes and 20. If you go to my Twitter, twitter.com/Ross A. Grant, my reel is pinned to the top. It's 2 minutes and 20 seconds long, but look how many scenes I managed to get in. Well, Chris got in. Chris edited it for me. You can get a lot in. You don't need a 3, 4, 5 minute reel these days. But yeah, I'm going to be putting that post up in the group before 11 p.m. tonight. Once I've finished this broadcast. A lot of people in the chat saying Manchester Actors platform are fab. I completely agree. I've seen Matt just go from strength to strength on the showreel side of things. If you are an actor based in Manchester, they're definitely worth exploring. Simon Naylor and the team there are creating some really solid stuff. Very, very impressed with the quality of the stuff that they're putting out. And if anybody, I mean, we've got like Map in the north. Chris is kind of in the Midlands, but he does the north and the south. But if anybody's, really happy with a showreel producer in the south, do let us know as well. I'm not that familiar with everything that's going on down south, obviously, being Reeds up north in Manchester. But if you've got any recommendations, then please share those as well. It's always great to get feedback on what's going on in the industry. Richard says, Chris cuts all my reels. I thoroughly recommend him. Top editor who knows what casting directors want to see. He's very good. He's very objective, Chris, but he's a filmmaker, Chris. That's the difference. He doesn't just shoot reels. He's really, I think he's too good now to be shooting reels. He just needs to be doing films. but he's a real filmmaker. So when he's making an edit, he's the sort of guy, like I said before, about thematic cuts and really understanding the order of stuff. He describes it as like, writing a sentence. You can have all the words in a sentence, but if they're in the wrong order, they don't make sense. It's not until you put the words in the right order that the sentence makes sense. And he looks at show reels very much like that. You can have all of the right ingredients, all of the right clips, but if you've not put them in the right order, they don't take a journey. They don't take a viewer on a journey, make them feel any emotion. So he just kind of gets it. So recommend Chris for editing as well. But definitely Manchester Actors platform in the north are fantastic as well. And a few people are saying Daniel Harding, he's just finished mine. Awesome, wicked. If people have, a couple of people have mentioned him. I think Lissy might have just mentioned him as well. So yeah, it'd be good to get a few people who we know are absolutely solid when it comes to creating show reels in the north, in the Midlands, and in the south, just so we can get all bases covered. That's tomorrow night. Like I say, I'll put that post up in the group. I want to see your reels posted in there, and that just about brings us to the end of this broadcast. It's 2 minutes to 10. Anyone got anything that you want me to shout out? Anything else that you want me to mention? I'm going to play actually a mashup of, just for those people who might not have been on Nats on this mastermind call, if you're like, should I become a member, should I not become a member, got a little mashup of quite a lot of the calls that we've done. You'll see really great names in this mashup. We've had people like Matt Lucas, just mentioned it before in the Les Mis performance, didn't I? We've had Matt Lucas on, David Harewood, people like Daniel Mays, the biggest casting directors like Lewis Arnold, who just recently directed Des on ITV, the 3-part drama starring David Tennant, Jason Watkins and Daniel Mays, was just, I think, one of the best dramas I've seen in the last decade. We get the best of the best on. So I'm going to play you to finish tonight a little mashup for people who are like, new to this, or maybe they're seeing it for the first time and they don't know what we do. But ultimately, if you want to speak to the biggest names in the game on a weekly basis, so that you're not just guessing about what you've got to do to get further in your career, you want to hear it from the horse's mouth. You literally want to speak to the people who cast the biggest shows in the world, and you want to get one-to-one advice from them. And the great thing about it, it's in a group environment. So I always think group coaching is just the best form of coaching, because you get to learn from everybody else. So other people will come on and ask their questions, and it might not be a question you were thinking of asking, but actually once they've asked it, you're like, shit, yeah, I never thought of that. You get to, meet people within the community you might not have seen or met before. There's so many people that have been brought together on these webinars. I love seeing it, where people then set up their own thing away from this. So they're doing script read-throughs, or they're shooting showreel scenes together. They're just supporting each other, having virtual brews online. I just think we've got an amazing community, and I just freaking love it. So, so come and get involved if you've not been involved already. And Helen says, anyone got any recommendations for voice reel producers? My agent, the Voiceover Gallery, definitely did before lockdown produce some of the best sounding reels I've ever heard. I would definitely check them out. I mean, the thing with a voice reel, Helen, is you've really got to nail the material you're going to record. Be very wary of any voice reel producers who just go, yeah, we'll sort it out, one-stop shop, and we'll give you all of the scripts. Because you've got to, like you would do in acting, you've got to really figure out your vocal type, ultimately your voice description, where that fits in the industry, what products your voice would be used to sell, what products your voice definitely wouldn't be used to sell. And you've got to, really nail that, because it's your voice reel in the voiceover world that will get you the work, in terms of like, you don't audition very often. It all gets cast from your voice reel. So whereas a casting director could see your show reel and go, she kind of fits, we'll bring her in and take a chance on her, they won't do that in voiceover, because they'll just find a reel where they get what they want from that reel. They'll just find the voice that they want. So your reel will get you the work, no audition required 9 times out of 10. So it's got to be right. What you'll find if you go to a one-stop shop and you pay some bullshit £99 or something like that, they'll produce something that sounds nice, and you'll go, oh, this sounds like I'm on the radio, and your mum and your brother and everyone will go, oh, it's really great that. It'll sit on your hard drive and it'll earn you no money whatsoever. So you've really got to nail the pieces, and that takes a lot of research. I wouldn't be paying any less than 500 quid to have a voice reel recorded and any sort of coaching to help me get that. If you go to an agency like the Voiceover Gallery, obviously these guys are booking professional voiceover artist jobs day in and day out. They know what is relevant right now. They know what is selling right now. They can advise you on that side of thing, and they're going to make sure that your scripts are unique to you. in a one-stop shop. They'll give you the scripts. They'll go 150 quid. We'll give you 6 scripts. We'll edit it for you. Blah 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 blah. They just give the same scripts to every actor who comes in. So then every agent in the land gets a demo through that just sounds the same, and they're like, "Wait a minute, I've heard this advert 12 times this month. Like, what's going on?" Be very careful with voice reels, because like it is the thing that will get you the work, and you can earn some serious money. So don't try and do it on the cheap, is my advice. But if anyone's got any recommendations for voice reel producers, definitely put them in the chat or get in touch with Helen in the Facebook group. Awesome. Right, okay. I'm going to play this little mashup then. Love you and leave you guys, and I'll see you for the showreel surgery at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night. It's been good, this. It's flown by once again. If you are new and you're watching or listening for the first time, please come and join us in the main community at sonthis.tv. Get involved. It'll change your life, change your career. Not just saying that, honestly. I've had people in the last week email me and say that. I'm not just being weird. We have got an amazing community. I don't know another community in the acting industry quite like it. You're going to see some of my lockdown hair. Do you remember when we all had lockdown hair? I hope we don't have another lockdown and shut hairdressers. Can everyone behave? Put your mask on. Stay away from each other. We just don't need that. Because you're going to see what my hair gets like in lockdown. I think there's some parts of this mashup where it just looks ridiculous. Thanks for being here, guys. Lots of love. Massively appreciate you all watching or listening on the replay. Hugely appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Those listening on the replay or watching on the replay, if it's still before 7:30 p.m. on the 13th of October 2020, get to actsonthis.tv/live, get your membership. You can join us. But here's a mashup of just some of the webinars we've been having recently, some of the mastermind sessions, and they're bloody great. Until next time, bye for now.
Would you recommend that I make shorter videos, or do you think I should stick with what I like doing and make sketches and just try and send them out to someone that might watch?
I think you should do both.
Okay.
But then you won't feel that you're compromising on your longer form comedy, and you'll be able to explore things with more depth. But you will also look at what works well on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or wherever else.
If you're not working, or if you're constantly being rejected, or you're not getting the opportunities, it's tough. It's a tough game.
The worst thing we could do as actors, the mistake I always make, as I overthink scenes. So if I know there's a scene where he's got to get really angry, and I go into that thinking, oh my God, I've got to get really angry in a minute, I've got to get really angry. You're not thinking how the character would think, you're cursing it, do you know what I mean? So you've got to go into the scene and just be.
It was in regards to casting breakdowns that you might send to agents. Do all agents get the same breakdowns?
From our office, they'll go to everyone, but there is a button on Spotlight that you can choose to send them to different agents. So some casting directors might choose to use that, but not me. All of my breakdowns go to everyone.
I want to have a casting, and I want every single actor to nail it. So my producer and director turn at me at the end of the day and go, Dan, we're spoiled for choice. I love what this person did here, but then she came in and I never saw it like that.
Actors decide it's a bad audition. And the amount of times I get calls from agents going, they just want to apologise. They didn't go their way. They thought it was really bad. And I was like, oh, I really quite enjoyed it. And I thought they did really well. So it's interesting whether or not it was actually a bad audition, or whether you've taken it.
Ahead. Yeah. So my question to you, knowing that you've signed somebody today, is how open are your books to kind of, fresh new actors?
So my books are never closed, because I think if you close your books, then you're not going to find the right people. We don't even say that. We don't really say our books are open or anything. It's quite an American thing, I think.
Make the email snappy. A short thing saying, hi, make it personal. So you address the I hate emails that just say hi and don't say Janet.
What would you say are the important technical things that an actor needs to consider?
You're filming out a sequence, so the first thing is you need to know your lines. You need to be on your lines, and that sounds really stupid, but there are many times that I've been on a floor and on a job, and even with Sasha, where he's been like, he can see in the takes that person it just hasn't got the lines. They've not learnt the lines. Yeah. Which sounds silly because that's the very basic thing, but it is a thing.
I was just kind of wondering what you thought, if you thought it would be worth actors reaching out to you for casting stuff, and if you have any say in casting stuff.
If somebody is put forward for an audition, for Brassic or for any other child making, I get to see it, because what happens is once they've been in for the casting, I get sent all the clips.
What would you say are the main things to do as a younger actor who isn't going to drama school?
Just record some really fantastic self-tape auditions. Now, they can be phantom auditions, and you can Google and find loads of sites online. But if you've got 2 or 3 really great self-tapes, which is literally you in this screen here doing an audition as you would in an audition room, when I want to see if someone can act, if you send me that, that's enough.